What is going on, guys? My name is Bradley with DoublySports, bringing you another episode of our Sleepers, Studs, and Stacks. And this is going to be for NFL Week 16 of 2020. So first off, Merry Christmas to you. If you don't celebrate Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate, make the most out of it. Thank you so much for spending 2020 with us. I know it's been a difficult year, but I really do appreciate you coming back every single week. And I've had so much fun with our Sleeper Studs and Stacks this year, and DFS in general. It's kind of gotten us through a lot, and it's just fun to play each and every week. So, it's time to look at what we did in Week 15. Crushed it. That's right, we absolutely crushed it. If you support us over on Patreon, you saw that we gave you Greg Ward, Jalen Hurts as kind of our wild card play, and then on this video last week, we gave you Leonard Fournette, Antonio Brown, DeAndre Hopkins, Kevin Ridley, Corey Davis, DeAndre Swift. They were all there, and our lineup that we put together was 162 points. We kind of gave that to you over on Patreon. We gave you our player pool lineup. There was a few alterations. We said you could go with Antonio Brown. You could go with David Montgomery. You could go with Logan Thomas and save some money and spend some more in some other places. Unfortunately, we didn't heed our own advice, and I stuck it out with Terry McLaurin. So I left 25 points on the table, not going with Antonio Brown and Tom Brady. Obviously, you could have taken Jalen Hurts and gotten a little bit more. Our misses, because we are transparent, 100%. No one's perfect. I said Dwayne Haskins last week, and that was a complete dud. DeAndre Washington, I think he got outshined by Ahmed and Lynn Bowden Jr. or Lynn Bowden, whichever one it is. That's unfortunate, but remember, player pool comes out for free on Sunday, because this is the Sunday slate, Sleeper Studs and Stacks. It's going to come out Sunday morning around 11:30. So about an hour and a half before kickoff. And then Patreon. Patreon gets it first. And these are our sleepers. And if you're back because of our sleepers, week in, week out, they crush it. Yeah, I know. Go ahead and drop a like. Give a thumbs up to the video. It really does help out immensely. So please, just hit the thumbs up. You don't even have to drop a comment. All I want for Christmas is a thumbs up. And for the Panthers to get a quarterback in the draft. That's it. That's all that I want. So to kick things off, a running back at $4,800 against Houston. Joe Mixon, probably out. I'm 99% sure that he's out. And the run game will be heavily relied on against the NFL's worst rushing defense in terms of Draftkings points. They've done it every single week where they let up one or two massive runs. It just happens. Everyone's done it. Gio Bernard, not going to stop him. With Ryan Finley at quarterback, they've been even more reliant on the rushing game. Here's the guy I gave you on Patreon, Greg Ward. I said this guy's run more routes than any other Eagles wide receiver the last 2 weeks. He's passed Fulgham. He's passed Alshon Jeffrey. Now Jalen Reagor could be out. He's questionable with a little bit of an ankle injury. So if he's not 100%, Greg Ward even higher on my board against a terrible Dallas defense. He's got 5 targets each of the last 3 games. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to scream about. But that's 11 Draftkings points on average, the most routes over the last 3 games, and Dallas Cowboys are giving up the 3rd most points to opposing wide receivers. Again, pending the Reagor health, this could be a very good play. Curtis Samuel against the Washington football team. He's averaging 8 targets over the last 4 games and 16 Draftkings points over those 4. Washington, I'll admit it, I was wrong about them. They are very good on the outside and a very good pass rush defense. The one area they struggle is crossing routes and linebacker mismatch. Curtis Samuel can find that seam. Without CMC, he gets some play out of the backfield, a couple handoffs, a couple screen passes. They're going to force him the ball because he has that punt returner type mentality. Just get the ball in his hands and let him run around. Kiki Kuti, 5,300 against Cincinnati. You've seen his name probably every other week on this channel. He's faced Indianapolis, Chicago, and Indianapolis over the last 3 games. 3 very good defenses. And Deshaun Watson is still finding a way to get him the ball. 25 points, 10 points, 15 Draftkings points in those 3 games. And now he gets Cincinnati, which is arguably, not arguably, is factually the worst pass defense he's seen in the last 4 games. Kiku Kuti at $5,300 has massive upside for me this week. Mike Williams at $4,500 against Denver. Played last week, slightly injured, only saw 2 targets. Stats way down. I think that means a lot of people are going to be fading him. Should have a bounce back game against the Denver Broncos. and a tight end. I never want to pay up for my tight end unless it's Kelsey. I never want to pay up for a tight end. This week, I might climb the ladder a little bit and go after Logan Thomas. Carolina is one of the weaker teams in tight end coverage. He's seen more and more usage every single week. It feels like if you're watching just the eye test, you can see he's heavily relied on in that offense. More so with Dwayne Haskins than Alex Smith, but Alex Smith uses his tight ends as well. So each of the last 4 games, over 10 DraftKings points. 2 of those actually over 24 DraftKings points, and 13 receptions on 15 targets last week against Seattle. Carolina Panthers, they are very similar to Washington. They struggle with linebacker coverage. They do have Shaq Thompson, but he's probably going to be spying, watching over the backfield, keeping an eye on those running backs, and the tight end should be able to just run free. More to watch. Le'Veon Bell just over that $5,000 threshold, $5,500 threshold, I should say. Ito Smith, $4,000. That's minimum value for a running back. And Todd Gurley is not going to be starting this week, or he's not at least the primary back. The interim coach down there, who I can't remember at the moment because who cares? It's Atlanta, says that Ito Smith has taken over the lead back role. At $4,000 against Kansas City, could see him getting a couple passes or catches out of the backfield. Rashard Higgins, I spelled his name wrong. Sue me. $4,800 against the New York Jets, one of the favorite targets of Baker Mayfield ever since Odell Beckham Jr. went down with an injury. And Darius Slayton from the New York Giants, only if Colt McCoy starts, in my opinion, worth a shot if Daniel Jones is there and recovers from his hamstring injury. But I think with Colt McCoy, he has really good chemistry right now. Now it's time to look at the big spenders, the guys with the big price tags. You know, the other ones, baller on a budget. They're going to get you some points. I like them. They have a high floor and a super high ceiling. When I'm looking for a stud, since I play mostly double ups and 50-50 games, I want guys with high floors. Good target share, high floors. Where are we going to start? Tyreek Hill against Atlanta. Terrible defense in almost every area or every aspect of defensive stats. They're decent. If you watch their games, they're decent against physical wide receivers. They always have been better against a physical wide receiver than they are with the speedsters or the crossers. 31st in pass yards per game allowed and 32nd, which is dead last in the NFL, in DraftKings points given up to wide receivers per game. Tyreek Hill, a banger this week. Robert Woods, $7,000 going up against Seattle Seahawks, appears to be one of the more trusted or the most trusted wide receiver in that Rams offense right now. Cooper Kupp, I think, only has 5 targets in the last 2 games, or 5 targets in each of the last 2 games. I wouldn't be shocked if people go after Cooper Kupp because he is the cheaper alternative. But Robert Woods against Seattle, I really like him this week. My favorite running back play, Nick Chubb, should be no surprise here. $7,800 against the New York Jets, but I think he's worth every penny. The Browns have a chance to win the division. I don't think they're going to let it slip away. Browns, big winners in this one against the Jets, who just upset the Pittsburgh Steelers. Cleveland Browns are on red alert that they can't just take this game as lightly as they probably would have if the Steelers walked all over the Jets. I think they get ahead early and pound the rock out with Nick Chubb. Austin Eckler at $7,600 against Denver. Great pass defense. They get to the QB in a hurry. I think that means there's going to be a little bit of dump-offs to Austin Eckler. And once again, I mentioned it earlier, Mike Williams. I think this is a great matchup for Austin Eckler, who has the best matchup in terms of running backs at the top of the charts. Miles Sanders against the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what else to say other than the Cowboys defense is just pitiful. Absolutely pitiful at times. On the flip side of the Eagles offense, Jalen Hurts has given them boys new life. It is amazing watching him play. If you haven't actually watched the highlights and you're just looking at the box scores, Jalen Hurts looks like that dude out there. Like, completely revamped offense. I told you, I love Greg Ward. I love Jalen Reagor if he's healthy. Alshon Jeffrey. I love the tight ends there. What makes you think I'm not going to choose Miles Sanders, who has massive passing upside out of the backfield? I think the Cowboys are going to spy Hurts, who has been running out of the pocket, and respect his arm because that passing game is actually pretty lethal. Miles Sanders should find some openings. 5 targets in 3 of the last 6 games. So over the last 6 games, half of them he's seen at least 5 targets. DraftKings, PPR is king. Miles Sanders at $7,000, probably my second favorite running back play of the week. And finally, Travis Kelce against Atlanta. Yeah, I'm booking Chiefs on this slide. Travis Kelce, Atlanta. I said it earlier. They're terrible over the middle. Linebackers can't cover running backs. They can't cover tight ends. 28th in DraftKings points allowed to tight ends. Allowed at least 6 catches to tight ends in each of the last 3 games. What makes you think Travis Kelce, the best tight end that they've seen in those last 3 games, what makes you think he's not going to see at least 6 catches? Nothing. Without hesitation, Travis Kelce. And more to watch. Jarvis Landry going up against the New York Jets. Cooper Kupp against Seattle. David Johnson against Cincinnati. The Texans' offense is one that perplexes me. They are second in the league in passing and 32nd in the league in rushing. Something's got to change. David Johnson is a weapon. Use him. Justin Herbert against Denver. Jalen Hurts against the Dallas Cowboys. That price point is way up there. But he could be worth it. He's in a great matchup. Baker Mayfield against the Jets. And finally, David Montgomery as another running back play that's a little bit expensive this week. But another guy that is in a great position. It's time for the stacks. My favorite double stack is a Wendy's double stack. Where Wendy's, you can get your 4... I'm just kidding. This ain't a plug for them. The Cleveland Browns against the New York Jets. Baker Mayfield, Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. I talked about them. It's very expensive this week. However, I don't think they come into this game treading lightly. There's no reason the Browns shouldn't hang up 35 points on the Jets. LA Rams against Seattle. Seattle probably one of the worst defenses that the Rams will be seeing. Jared Goff, Robert Woods, and whoever that starting running back is, because Cam Akers doesn't look like he'll be playing. Will it be Malcolm Brown, Darrell, or Darrell Henderson? We'll have to wait and find out, but you can save a lot of money by going with that running back play. And finally, the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, Miles Sanders, Greg Ward, Jalen Reagor, maybe pair him with a tight end. There's lots of options for this Philadelphia Eagles lineup, which kind of scares me. Because if you do play Hurts, you can only pair him with so many people, and he might not be spreading the ball to the guy you like. I think you can run Jalen Hurts naked. Defenses. Bradley, the king of never pay up for a defense.com. Cleveland Browns against the New York Jets. I like it. LA Chargers against Denver, 3,300. I like it. Carolina versus Washington at 2,700. I love it. Over the last 3 games, the Carolina Panthers defense, a little bit of a homer moment, but I didn't name any offensive players, so you're welcome. The Carolina Panthers have been getting turnovers. They've been generating sacks. If Brian Burns is good to go for this game, I'm going out on a limb and saying the Carolina Panthers generate at least 3 sacks and 2 turnovers. Might not be a limb, but that's 5 pressure points. That is 5 scoring opportunities for a defense in terms of DraftKings points. If they do that, they probably reach double digits. And then finally, Chicago against Jacksonville, probably my favorite play of the week. Just keep an eye on that one. That does it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Again, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you and yours. Happy New Year if I don't hear from you before 2021. Hopefully 2021 is a lot better than 2020. It's been a trash bag of a year. Make sure you like this video. Drop a comment down below. If you have any questions about any players, I am always answering comments. Put it down below, please, and give a thumbs up. Find me on Twitter. Find the group on Twitter at DoublySports or at Brad M. Lee. On Instagram at BWE. If I'm not following you there, just shoot me a DM, reply to my story, comment on a picture, whatever you need to do. I will follow you back. Absolutely. Facebook.com/DoublySports to get our player pool for free Sunday morning. And on Patreon, for those that want to go above and beyond in support of the channel, thank you so very much. Thank you. We just did a $25 giveaway over there 2 weeks ago to Rodney. Congratulations on winning that. We have more giveaways planned. Hopefully, as the NBA season goes along, we're going to be giving out some player pools for the NBA. It's a little bit hectic right now as we try and get into the season. We try and fight through COVID for the NBA outside of the bubble. So we'll see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for giving it a like. And, as always, hopefully the next time that I see you is in the green. Merry Christmas!